Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Here we go with another Short Shifts episode. 10 minutes on the clock. Jeffrey Lavecchio, my co-pilot on this Magic Carpet ride, has no idea what the topic is going to be today. It's a good one today. I think I got a good one today, dude. You ready?
Let's hear it.
How can we plan practices that will help goalies? How can we plan practices that can help goalies develop? So many practices, I feel like, that I see, it doesn't really take the goalies into account. The drills, sometimes the goalie's getting 2 shots in 2 seconds, how can you plan practices that can help the goalies develop too?
I, first of all, love this topic. Super hard topic, though. Super hard topic that a lot of people don't think about. And I train a lot of goalies, so I love this. Also funny that I did the opposite of helped the goalies in practice because I was coming down and I'm shooting to score every single time. Warm-up drill, doesn't matter. I'm going posting in. My coach in Lillehammer used to hate – I always went first every drill. Always, like, put myself first, put myself in that position and make myself have to pay attention, all that stuff. And he would always be like, get in the back of the line. I know you're going to try and go bar down on the first shot. But what was really cool is his son – he might have won the Hobie Baker, or he was up for it. Kevin Hartzell's son. Probably 2000. I don't know.
Yep, he was at Quinnipiac.
Yep. So he, coming from a son who was a high level goalie, our first drill of every single day was a wide, long shot. So the goalie could watch the puck all the way into their glove, all the way into their pad, whatever they were doing, right? Every single day, the first drill was always for the goalies. Something to get you moving, shoot in stride. You had to shoot by a certain point. If you didn't, you were getting yelled at, or if they're younger players, you're making them do push-ups or something like that. But the first thing I would say is, coaches, ask a goalie coach what you can do to help your goalies. They are the experts. They're going to be the ones who know what they're looking for if you're not a goalie coach. If you're a normal coach, lean on your organization's goalie coach or a friend that's a goalie coach. Reach out to a goalie coach online. What are some things that I can and should be doing every practice to make sure that I'm helping my goalies get better as well as my players? So that would be my first piece of advice, and then do whatever they say. But older ages, like maybe like 13 and up, if you've got 2 assistant coaches or players you trust, when everybody else is getting out there, getting their feeling, warm up skate, doing a couple of laps, whatever they're doing, have the goalies in each net with 20, 30 pucks, whatever it is on each side, and give the goalies those warm up shots. Usually it's like, okay, 5 to the glove, see it all the way into the glove, 5 to the blocker, 5 to the low glove, 5 to the low blocker, drop down, reaction, whatever it is. And always start with that in practice so they're warm before the first drill. When you, like you said, Toph, where a lot of coaches are just thinking only about the players, and they're getting shot, everybody, shot, and they can't set up in between. They can't do anything like that, right? So make sure you're getting them warm first, long range shots to start. And then my other piece of advice would be, obviously, talk to a goalie coach and ask them what things you can be doing to implement into your practice to help your goalies as well as your players.
Cool. I like that. I got a few things. First thing, kind of similar to what you were talking about, like maybe every practice, depending on what you want to do. You can do the first 10, 15 minutes of practice where you do a small area game that doesn't require a goalie. You can do a puck protection drill or a puck support drill, little small game where you don't need goalies. And then an assistant coach can work with the goalies for 10, 15 minutes before you kind of start with your practice. I think that is something. I think one thing to look at too is like volume of shots and rest. Because those times where like goalies are taking, as you said, what was it, Lil John? Little shot.
Yeah.
And then by 30, 40 seconds into a drill, the goalie's just standing there. and then like that's not good for anybody because the players want a goalie to compete against them, and the goalie's not getting any better because they're just standing there because they're too freaking tired because they've just taken 25 shots in 40 seconds or something like that, right? So look at like the rest ratio and the volume of shots that are coming in. Like at the beginning of practice, don't do backdoor. Like if you do a 2-on-0 drill, like make sure the player has to shoot the puck by the top of the circles, kind of thing. Don't backdoor the goalies. Another thing is like setting up drills where shots that are coming in to the goalies are shots that they're actually going to see during a game. So like how often does a player skate down the middle of the ice in between the two dots or the two circles and shoot it from the hash mark or even shoot it from the top of the circles? Never. Design your drills where players are coming in from an angle that are typically shooting during a game, right? Like off the wall or, dot line, something like that. That way the goalies can, get some transfer into what it is. And I work for Shafe at Cornell, and it's funny because we always had great defensive numbers, but he was always really big on making sure the goalies were getting something out of the drills that we had too. So maybe you're doing one shot and then it's a rim around to the point and the player who took the shot's got to stop in front. And then there's a second shot coming in from the point where there's traffic in front of the net. So really like designing different types of drills where the goalies are going to be able to do things that they're going to see in a game. Making sure the goalies are able to skate too. Skating is such an important part of a goalie's development, being able to get from side to side, understanding their depth, just the skating component of it. So can you get the goalies moving from side to side potentially, where there's a drill where there has to be a pass in between the top of the circle and the blue line, and the goalie's got to go from one angle to the next angle, get there, square their feet, or however it is the goalie coach thinks it needs to be played. How can you get them moving? How can you get them skating? So I know I just had a lot right there, but like, coaches, you have to have your goalies in mind when you're designing your drills so they're getting better too. It's not just your player.
And yeah, I love that. And another thing too is like make sure you're getting them if they're a little bit older. Well, even you start them when they're younger. Like you can start drills with a rim where the goalie has to get out, stop the puck, and make a pass. And when they're younger, it could be no pressure at all. When they're older, it can be pressure. Like in pro, you do that a lot because goalies have to be able to play the puck.
Helping them to learn how to play the puck, not just
right. Like like actually like do the things that they're going to need to do at the next levels too, and you can start that when they're younger just so they feel more comfortable with it and age appropriate, deciding if there's somebody who's forechecking or if they're making a long pass, if they're young and they're just getting out and stopping it for the D-man, or if they're older, they're getting out, wanding it and then passing it, like things like that. So make sure that they're also playing the puck because at the higher levels, the best goalies play the puck. So if you want to be at the higher levels, you got to be able to play the puck.
Yeah. And like at the higher levels, you literally, it's part of your pre-scout. If there's a goalie that can play the puck really well, you're talking about that before the game, and your entries and your chips and things like that are a big part of the pre-scout. Or if you have a goalie that sucks at playing the puck, hey, maybe we're going to make them play the puck a little bit more. You know what I mean? And then another thing, because we don't have that much, I think we have a minute and a half left. One thing that I think could potentially be pretty cool is a little bit of a competition between the players and the goalies. And one of the things that higher level scouts are looking for when they're looking at goalies is rebound control. Can you do some sort of a game, even in a flow drill or a skill drill at the beginning of practice where, hey, your job as a player is to create a rebound for the other person that's driving the net. The goalie gets a point if there's no rebound or if the shot is wide. The player gets a point if he creates a rebound, and then another point if the secondary player buries it after the rebound. And so like doing these types of drills make it a little bit fun, create a little bit of a competition. I always loved competitions also where it was like the D and the goalies against the forwards in like 2-on-1 drills or 3-on-2 drills.
Love that.
That's always a lot of fun where, you get 7 minutes for the drill and you have to score 6 goals on 2-on-1s or something like that. And a lot of times who ends up winning?
D and the goalies.
The D and the goalies.
Unless I'm a shooter on the 2-on-1s.
Unless Jeff Lavecchio is out there and the Fords are winning every single time. But yeah, I think it's we got 10 seconds left here. I do think it's really important for the coaches that are listening. Really make sure you're thinking about the goalies as you're putting your drills together and you're putting your practice plans together. It's huge.
Hundo P. Care of the show.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.